So I'm waiting for my other phone to charge so I can do the YouTube video that I want to do. I want to talk about something about in-laws, and I realized that I've had these clothes out here for like almost a week now. I'm very bad with laundry. So I'm gonna take this in, wait for that phone to charge, and then do the video. I really need to do this. I've been meaning to do it for weeks. Just never really got the time to do it. But I managed to wrangle a hairstyle together because I had a manglanga on my hair because I wasn't keen on styling my hair today because I was like, why? But for this video, I will try and look nice. Hello. Hi. Welcome to the other side. Welcome back. I'm trying to be excited. I'm feeling a bit down. I'm feeling a bit tired. As you can see, I do look tired. This morning, you know what? I watched a series that was very graphic. Um, it was a series about demons and stuff, so it was very graphic, and I've been I've been struggling to kind of sleep because I see those things when I go to sleep, things I saw on the TV show. So like for the past 2 3 days, I've been waking up early. I think around 1 2 a.m. I'll just be up, and I wouldn't be able to go back to sleep. So I just wake up and pray. Um, and I told myself that no, it's the Holy Spirit waking me up to pray. I guess that He's using this time, you know, to help me pray. Praying has been a bit of a struggle, especially it's winter. I had some issues in my walk with the Lord for a couple of weeks. So I think this past few days, I don't know, even though the reason why I'm not able to sleep is not really a good reason, but I guess God is redeeming the time. So that's why I probably look tired. I woke up today. I don't remember when I woke up, but I went back to bed at about past 4, and then I had to wake up again at like 5:45 to get the kids ready to go to school, and I've been up since. And I can feel now that I probably need to take a nap, but that's an introduction, I guess. Yeah. Welcome to the other side, guys. I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad to have you watching this video. I've never said this before in any video, but I think maybe now because it popped in my head, I'm gonna say it. Subscribe, like, comment, share, you know, just I don't know. I hope this is very helpful for you. This is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, but I haven't really had the time, and I haven't really made the time to record this video. I thought about it a lot. I talked to God about it a little bit. I read some stuff and all of that, and it's a topic that I think is helpful, especially for my ladies that are looking to get married. This is something that I think will be very helpful for you, whether or not you are already in a relationship or you are looking to be in a relationship. This is something that I think that you should look out for in your journey going towards marriage. So this video is falling into the segment or the section of the Before I Do series. I actually need to sort out those videos into a nice little playlist so they are all in one place, but that's not the point of this video or this time. So let me just talk about what I want to talk about. So I basically want to talk about in-laws, and in a sense preparing yourself, or sort of like setting yourself up to get good in-laws, okay, or putting yourself in a position where you can tell what kind of in-laws you're going to have, and you can tell how they're going to affect your marriage, to what extent, in what way, right? So something that I often think about is that, you know, when you meet a guy, obviously when you're a lady and you meet a guy, and let's say he chats you up, he asks for your number, or all those things, you know, when you're like, you know, when you're like, okay, let me give him a chance. You almost know very quickly. It's often very quick. Sometimes it's not, especially now with online things, because we interact a lot online. You don't really get to see a person and all of that. But I think you can tell fairly quickly whether or not you like a person and whether or not you would like to pursue a relationship. And by relationship, I don't mean this weird thing that is going on now about talking stage and all of these things that are weird. I mean like an actual relationship. You know, pretty quick if you want to pursue a relationship with a guy. I mean, for instance, if you met the guy, let's say on Instagram, maybe through the interactions you realize that I like this guy. Then you give him your number, and let's say a month in that instance, but let's say in a physical interaction, you can know almost immediately whether or not you want to pursue this relationship, whether or not you're attracted to the person, so that to the extent that you want to sort of pursue the relationship, right? And when I think you've decided to pursue a relationship with the person, it also doesn't take long to know if you want this to be a serious relationship, if you want this to be a long-term relationship, if you see a future with this person, if you want a future with this person. I don't think it takes long. I think ideally or fairly or realistically, it takes about 3 months to know I want to be in this relationship. I want it to last. I can see us getting married. I can see all of these things. And I think at the 6 month mark, um, you should have met some people in his life, friends, someone in his life. Somebody should know. If let's say you're with a guy for 6 months and you only know him, you don't know a friend, you don't know a best friend, you don't know a cousin, sister, brother, auntie, uncle, and it's like it's just you and him. He hasn't introduced you to anybody in his life. So now let's say a year in, I would give this as a tip to you. If you are in a relationship with someone by a year, um, find a way or make it a point that you have met or you are going to meet the family or a portion of the family or somebody in this guy's life, right? And somebody important, okay? Not buddies and J. But like I think by a year in a relationship, you've already discovered so much. There's still a long way to go, but by a year we are able to tell if where this is going, if this is going anywhere, if you want it to go anyway. And I think as a lady, just put yourself up in a position where you can find out if this now okay, I'm stuttering, I'm saying something that doesn't make sense, but what I want to say is that by a year you must have met someone in your man's life, in your girl's life. You must have met an important person, a best friend, a sister, an older cousin, somebody that is important to this person. You know, there's sort of that vetting that is going on in terms of they want to see if you are the one. They introduce you to people to sort of do the vibe checks, right? So I think then within a year you must have met. That's what I'm saying. Over and over, you must have met somebody in this guy's life. You must have met the family. So if you are dating, you're in a relationship with someone and all of that, I would say give yourself a standard of in a year, we should know where this is going. We should know if we want to get married. We should know what is this relationship. Are we just dating? If we are just dating, why are we just dating? If we want to get married, okay, what's the next step, right? Within a year, I promise you, you know these things, and it's not wrong or it's not crazy or stupid to put that standard for yourself and say that if things are not clear within a year, then I'm out. It's okay. You can even make things clear at 3 6 months. You know, there's nothing wrong with that because You are setting up yourself for the future. So it's better to know earlier than later that this is not going to work out, right? So on the in-laws part, so I say that catch my breath. I'm talking too fast and I'm running out of breath. So meeting in-laws, right? Potential in-laws. I totally think that that should not just be a thing of I just want to impress the family, I just want them to like me. You must like them. They must also impress you. These are the people that are going to be in your life, girl. These people are going to be in your life if you marry this person, right? So when you meet family members or when you meet the family, it's not just about you making an impression on them. It's also about you assessing if you are impressed by this family, if you are concerned about things that you notice, dynamics that you see in the family that you're like, this is kind of weird. I don't know if I can take this. I don't know if I want this, right? So there are things that you should be looking out for. In as much as you should enjoy the experience, I mean, meeting them, the in-laws, the potential in-laws, it's a big deal. It's a big step in a relationship, right? Obviously, enjoy that part, relish the moment. But, well, I met a girl, okay? Focus and observe and take notes and ask yourself the hard questions, you know. So, some of the things that you can focus on, I tried to be organized and write things down so that I don't ramble. It's been a while since I've been here, so when it's been a while, I kind of like I'm all over the place. So I wrote some things down, right? Like I wrote here, once you have established the desire to and have agreed that you want to be together, you want to be married, you want to have a future together, you should meet the family. You should meet the family. Why am I so nervous? What's going on with me? This is weird. But anyway, while you should enjoy the journey and take pleasure in the experience of getting to know your potential and future in-laws, you should be observant. Look out for things in the family dynamics and relationships that could spill into your marriage. For instance, how is the relationship between your future hubby and his parents, his siblings? What's the hierarchy like in the family? What is his position in the family? Because there are positions in families. For instance, if you marry or if you're in a courtship, in a relationship with someone who is a breadwinner, and you meet the parents and you see how much they rely on this person financially, how does that make you feel? What do you think about it? Can you handle being married to someone who has to take care of his parents, who has to take care of his home? What kind of strain does that put when he has to take care of his parents and you and possibly children? If you guys have children, if you decide to have children, observe that, right? Some of the things that are important to observe I've spoken about before: the relationship between the mom, the relationship between the dad, because those are the things that tell you what kind of husband this person will be to you. Look at how the men in the family treat women. That is a benchmark that you can use to tell how you will be treated by this person. Look at how he treats his mother, how he speaks with his mother, his sisters, his female cousins. That will be a benchmark that will help you tell how this person is going to treat you as a female. Sometimes when you're dating, things don't really pop out like that, but when you are married, a person treats you, you sort of default into what you saw when you're growing up. So if you saw men being very aggressive and dismissive and disregarding of women, even when you're dating, it's nice and lovey-dovey, you're flowing, you want to get married, but when you get into marriage, that thing pops up and it becomes a default and it becomes dominant, right? So it's easier when it's something that you've picked up earlier and you can work on before you even go into the marriage, right? So look out for those things. Even ask questions, right? If you're in a situation where you can speak to the mom alone, just ask him questions about her son. how he is, how their relationship is, how his relationships in the past have been. I don't think that's bad, right? We'll keep it clean, we'll keep it respectful. See if there's any patterns with your future husband when it comes to him dating. Has it brought anybody else home? Why has that person not been married? Have there been any almost, right? Get a gauge of um what the in-laws, get a gauge of the in-laws, right? As much as you can, basically. Like I said, if you can speak to the dad on the side and just ask him questions. What is the family value? Ask the dad of your future husband, oh, what is this family value? What is this family love? What is important in this family? That will most likely be important to your spouse. Or if it is something that the dad values and the dad and your potential husband have a bad relationship, that is something you will probably want to do in a different way. That is something you can also note, right? Yeah, right. Also assess how the females, excuse me, assess how the females speak to you, how they address you, and how he responds to how they address you. I'll give you an example. If, let's say, you're invited, you're meeting the family, and there's a cousin that speaks to you in a nasty way, and he just laughs or brushes off, or something like that, where something is done that is not nice to you by somebody, and he doesn't stand up to you, or he cowers, or he just lets it happen. That gives you an idea of, oh, if I'm married to this family, and in an instance where he has to protect me against his family, he probably won't. I'm not saying if this happens in one instance that means that he won't protect you, but I'm saying look for predictors and investigate them, right? Talk to him about it. Like in the instance about the cousin that I just mentioned, you let's say now you going home together, you realize, oh, your cousin said this, it was not nice, and I noticed that you didn't say anything. Why didn't you say anything? Right? Ask him, what do you think about you protecting me from your family? What does that mean to you? How do you see that playing out? Those are important things, because these people will be a part of your life. So at some instances, there will be a part of decisions, big decisions that you have to take in your marriage with your spouse, right? So look out for those things as well. Like I said, status in the family. Are you getting married to the only boy in the family that everybody adores? Because that has its own pros and cons. Are you getting married to the firstborn guy? The guy. Like, if this is a person in the family that is often, mm, is this the black sheep in the family, right? Is this the guy in the family that is always made fun of? Is this the guy in the family that is not respected? You do find that in some families there's usually a person that is not respected and valued, probably because they're unemployed, or they're not as smart as everybody, or they didn't do everything the same way as everybody did it. So you have to take note of those things and see how they affect your future spouse. Sometimes they might not even be aware that they're being affected, or they might not want to address it, but you can pick it up and then address it and talk about it and see if there's a way to weed it out, bring it to the light, talk about it, right? You can, there's so many issues that can arise as a reason of this. Like I said, for instance, with the breadwinner, if you're marrying someone that's a breadwinner, you can see that, hey, this person, the family is heavily reliant on this person. What does that mean for your marriage? What does that mean for where you guys will stay, how you guys will live life, the lifestyle that you will have? How will it be impacted by the fact that your spouse has to support their family? Those are the things that you can pick up, and those are the things that you can discuss beforehand, before you say I do, right? How does the family treat each other as a unit? What is the family culture, right? Every family has its own things. Every family has its dramas and its issues and its squabbles. There's always someone who does not get along with someone. There's always those things. They're normal in every family. But like, what's the general family culture? Is it a culture of gossip? Because if you're sitting there with Umamwane and Umamwane is telling you snippets about everybody, you want there be a snippet as well. So just know that that's probably the family culture, and it will involve you. You will probably be talked about as soon as you walk out the door. And is that something that you're willing to let slide? Is that something you want to address? Is that something that you're like, it's fine? You know what? What's the family culture? And are you okay with it? Are you comfortable with it? Do you want to talk to it? Not to it, about it. What is wrong with me? Do you want to talk about it? Right? Is it a family culture or that is totally different from yours? Right? Like, for instance, for me, my family was not, right? And my in-laws are. And that was a different culture for me. It was shocking. I remember when we had just gotten married, I realized that my sisters-in-law were always buying me gifts. And I would ask my husband, why are they buying me stuff? It didn't make sense to me because I was not used to that. That was not the culture from my family. You know, even on birthdays, I mean, we would have a birthday party if we could, but gifts were not really a thing in my family. So it shocked me when I came into a family where gifts are a thing. And I used to ask my husband why. I used to think that, okay, it was just weird, right? So those are the things that you can look out for and all of those kind of things. And sometimes those are the things that can help you build rapport with the family, that when you notice that, oh, in this family they hug, you hug too. In this family they like to play games, be part of the fun. In this family they like to go on trips together, they like to go on holidays together. This family, they like education. This family values tradition. This family values religion. All of those things. Is this the culture that you can take? You know, like speaking of tradition and religion, if let's say you are with someone, let's say you guys are both Christians, and now you go meet the family and you realize that in this family it is only your spouse that is a Christian and everybody else is traditional. How he deals with that will affect and will spill into your marriage. If it's something that he ignores, or he just, well, if they want to do things, it's just like, let them do it, it doesn't affect me, and all those kind of things, that will spill on into your marriage, into your children. You know, so you have a kid and the family will say, we need to do this ritual, we need to do this ceremony. And if your spouse has never disputed anything before, it will be weird if he disputes things now. So that is something that you can address, right? So all of those things you can look out for. Look out for patterns in the family, reoccurrences. How are the men, right? Are the men in this family alcoholics? Are the men in this family abusive? Are the men in this family disruptive? How are the women in the family? How are the marriages in the family? Look at the bloodline. How have the marriages been? If you can speak to a gogo in the family and ask her, oh, tell me about your mom, your mother's mom. How have been marriages in this family? Is there a pattern of divorce in this family? Is there a pattern of infertility? Is there a pattern of abuse? How are the marriages? How do the marriages look? Very important, right? So, like I said, it's not just about you going to meet the future in-laws to be impressive to them. They also have to be impressive to you, because they will be your family. And is this, because you can choose, right? Is this the family that you want to choose? Is this the family you want to choose? Are you comfortable having seen the family structure, the family dynamic, the family culture, the family curses? Are you comfortable saying yes to this guy? Are you going to manage to deal with this? Are you going to be okay dealing with these kinds of things? Are these issues that you think that you guys can get over, you can talk about, you can resolve? Do you feel like after seeing his family, after speaking to some of his family members, after noticing and observing things in the family, that it's not for me, it's better to decide that earlier? And it's not an invalid reason for ending a relationship, because family will affect your marriage in a huge manner, right? What kind of issues are in the family? Are the siblings, do the siblings get along? There are siblings things, normal sibling things, but at the core of it, are the siblings friendly? Are they cordial? Do they like each other? Is there jealousy among the siblings? Are the siblings competing for the parents' affection? That means something. That is something that you can talk about with your future spouse, right? Because it might affect how he parents the children, right? All of those things matter, right? It matters, and I wish that you can take it seriously and investigate it as best as you can before you say I do, right? Because it's going to affect your marriage, because it affects your spouse, right? Especially in instances where the person that you're with has not healed, is not healing, is not pursuing healing. You can see the wounds. You know, when somebody's around their family, the wounds sometimes they just open up, and you can tell that this person is triggered by just being at home. They are triggered. They go home, let's say they don't want to sleep over, they just want to eat their lunch and leave. Things like that, right? So it's all of these things that you have to take into account, you know, for your own benefit. It's also important to ask yourself, what would I like my in-laws? And don't be selfish in that decision. Don't be self-serving. Don't be self-centered. But you know, it's good to have a desire for great in-laws, for a great family. You know, looking even at the bloodline in terms of this is a great family. The what's the word? The legacy in this family is beautiful, and I would love to be a part of that. You know, you can say I want in-laws that have a legacy of education. I had a friend who was very specific. She's told me that I prayed to God that I want to get married to a man who comes from a Christian family generationally. And God gave her that. She got married to a man whose parents are pastors, whose parents are pastors, whose parents were pastors. It's beautiful, right? So it's also very important to be very definite and very sure of what you want from your in-laws, and you know, bring that over to God. Obviously, God knows best, and God will not put you in a situation that will make you nar for no reason, right? So over and above making all of these observations, asking all these questions, doing all of this investigative work on your in-laws, involve God in the process, right? When you're going to meet the in-laws, pray about it. Lord, I'm going to meet my future in-laws. I'm excited about it. I'm nervous about it. Help me through this day. Holy Spirit, give me the words. What questions should I ask? If you want me to notice things, bring them up to me. Let me be sensitive to you in this meeting. Let me not just go there, be cute and eat lunch and impress, but let me also be attentive to what you're telling me about this person and this person and this situation and this thing and this thing. Involve God and the process, right? You could decide not to marry a person because of their family dynamics, because of their family situation. It's not invalid. It's not invalid, right? Because you're also looking out for the generation that comes out after you. You could decide to be open to dealing with them and the issues that come because of the family that they come from. Everything, though, will spill into your marriage, right? And it's a blessing to get married to somebody who's aware of how their family is, who's aware of the issues that they have because of their family dynamic and their family structure, who is cognizant of this is how my family affects me, this is my relationship with my family, and this is how it affects me, and therefore this is how it might affect my marriage, this is how it might affect my wife. It's very helpful. Open communication in this thing will be very great for your relationship. So like I said, early in the relationship, communicate. What are we? Where are we? Senza, siyaphi, sithini into yethu. Because just dating for fun. What's fun about just dating? I don't know if there is anything fun about just making out with someone just nje. Bethunana exchanging saliva with someone just nje. Right? But to avoid, I think, wasting your time and having to break up a marriage in some instances or an engagement, get ahead of those things. You can ask questions about family early in the relationship, also to gauge the reaction, the responses, the triggers, and all those kinds of things. And also with your side of the family, give yourself an opportunity to assess yourself and say, okay, from my family, what patterns have I picked up? What habits have I picked up? How can I detangle myself from the bad things that my family has taught me? What are the things that I've taken from my family that are not so good? What are the things about my relationship with my parents that could negatively affect my marriage? What are the things about how I grew up and the family that I was in that could affect my marriage? Also assess yourself in that manner, and don't be unfair to say, I want great in-laws and all of those things, but don't, and then you don't look at yourself as well. Also look at yourself, right? But you can sort of get yourself great in-laws, by just preparing for it and being proactive about it, and also being very, very clear in your dating life in terms of what you want from your in-laws, what you want from your spouse, and involving God in every step of that process, in every step of that process, and also trusting God to guide you. And sometimes God, let's say you meet a family and you're like, "Hi, son, not for me," and God says, "It's okay. Get married to this guy. Join this family." Be open to God guiding you in instances where you feel like, no, I don't want this. The important thing is that if God endorses it, there's purpose for it, and God will make it beautiful in time, in His own way, in His own beautiful, majestic, weird, ununderstandable, but godly way. So you can get great in-laws. Involve God, talk about it, pray about it. Good luck. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.